The Tampa Bay Lightning finished second in the Atlantic Division during the course of the 25-26 regular season, but lost in 7 games the opening round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs to the Montreal Canadiens. This is the 4th consecutive opening round loss for the Bolts since dropping the final to Colorado in 2022. But Neil, the expectation for this team is always high under Jon Cooper, and they've averaged 102.8 points per season since winning their 2nd straight cup in 2021.
You can't ask for much more if you're a hockey fan than have your home team average 102 points for all these years since winning their 2nd straight cup. They're always a contender. They're always in it. They always have high expectations. They've got some fantastic players. And when they run into a shortage, Jon Cooper is always able to find a way to mix up what he has. The players that he has, he's able to get the most out of them to fill in for the time that his other players are hurt, i.e. Victor Hedman being hurt for so long, and yet them not missing a beat during the season. So yes, this is an organization that exemplifies excellence year after year.
The reality of this past regular season, at least, still one of the more dynamic offenses in the NHL. Nikita Kucherov with his 4th straight 100-point season and 6th overall. Jake Guentzel reaching the 30-goal mark for the 6th time in his career and had a career-best 88 points. And Brandon Hagel, career-high 36 goals and a plus 34. And where did this come from? Darren Raddysh, 22 goals, 48 assists, 70 points, and a plus 21.
Yes, and a UFA this summer. So he's in for a big payday somewhere, whether it's just where he is in Tampa or he goes somewhere else.
A couple of down notes here. Brayden Point, since scoring 51 goals in 2022-23, he has dropped to 46, not bad, 42, not bad, but only 18 this past season, and he did miss 19 games. Overall, the team lost 339 man games due to injury. Victor Hedman only played 33 games this season between injuries and a leave of absence that he took in order to focus on his mental health. Didn't play at the end of the regular season, never appeared in the playoffs. Ryan McDonagh limited to only 48 games. Emil Lilleberg, only 50 games. And Erik Cernak held to 61 games. With all these defensemen missing for so much time this season, and usually multiple defensemen at the same time, just an incredible job by Jon Cooper, and certainly worthy of not only nomination, but probably winning his first Jack Adams trophy.
He definitely is, and he should be a candidate year after year. I mean, he's going up against stiff competition this year with Dan Muse in Pittsburgh, who no one expected to make the playoffs, and yet he was able to bring them there. And Lindy Ruff being able to guide Buffalo to a tremendous season and making the playoffs and ending in first place. So that'll be a good award given out this year. But back to Tampa, they are emblematic, I think, of excellence in the NHL. They just are. They're year after year up there. They're exciting. If you're a season ticket holder or a sponsor of the Lightning, got to be satisfied with the product that you're watching or sponsoring.
But we're starting to see a different Tampa team in the Stanley Cup playoffs since winning that last cup, as we mentioned, in 2021. They have gone out now 4 consecutive springs in the first round, and in the playoffs against the Canadiens, they scored only 15 goals. And this was a series that was played within a goal 99% of the time. So you could underscore how important one goal would have been in the right spot. Because after Brandon Hagel, who had 6 goals, the next highest goal totals for any Lightning players were by Jake Guentzel and Dominic James, who had 2 apiece. Brayden Point, 1 goal. Nikita Kucherov, 1 goal. And he's only got 2 goals in his last 4 playoff seasons, covering 22 games. Corey Perry and Nick Paul, guys that they usually can count on to deliver. I mean, Perry has been elsewhere, but this is his second stint in Tampa. Couldn't get on the score sheet. And that's not a formula for success.
No, it certainly isn't. And I'm most certainly disappointed in Kucherov because he is just a tremendous hockey player and you would think would give you more than he did. It just seemed like they were trying to be too perfect all the time. Certainly going out in the first round stings. But again, I'm going to say it that I would love to have a team that averages 102 points. They've got to find a way to, obviously do better in the playoffs. This year, they should have won Game 7 against Montreal by all barometers, outplayed them. But it was Jakub Dobeš was unbelievable in that game, and Montreal was able to score the 1 extra goal, and that's what ended their season this year. But I think the Lightning have a great formula. Their management does, their organization does, and I don't see them being anywhere but always at the top for a while now.
You mentioned that Game 7, and Andrei Vasilevskiy actually forced that Game 7 with an unbelievable 1-0 shutout in Game 6, but only faced 9 shots, and the series-deciding goal was that third-period marker by Alex Newhook, who batted in a shot from behind the net that caromed in off Vasilevskiy.
Yeah, the Montreal goals were not highlight reel goals for sure.
So let's take a look ahead, the work that Julien BriseBois has ahead of him. He's got 6 picks in the 2026 draft. He has none in the first round. That was sent to Seattle in the 2025 trade that acquired Oliver Bjorkstrand, but he did pick up a second pick in the 5th round as part of that trade. And the team also has none in the 4th round. That was a result of a swap of picks with the Boston Bruins last June. Team is about $1 million over in cap space, but that reset is coming, so they'll have a little bit more to work with. Their UFAs, the aforementioned Bjorkstrand, aforementioned Perry, Mitchell Chaffee, and Scott Sabrin up front. You had mentioned, Neil, Darren Raddysh, and also Declan Carlile on defense, who's a Group 6. The team has no RFAs. What's interesting that I find with this team is that they've got several players all tied up until 29-30. Jake Guentzel, Brayden Point, Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, Erik Cernak, and J.J. Moser. But Nikita Kucherov becomes a UFA after next season, and you couple that with the contracts that BriseBois gave out earlier. Top salaries on this team, only $9.5 million. That's the Kucherov, Point, and Vasilevskiy. So they've been able to keep the dollar figures down, but now is it going to be time for BriseBois to open the vault up a little bit? Because this is a team that I think is starting to get into win now mode, because they're also in the top quarter of the oldest teams in the NHL.
Well, there's no doubt that they're aging out. They have to. And their window is going to be closing at some point. I mean, they are everything I said, the team of excellence. They have been that way, but they are going to have to slow down. You can't imagine that they have a cabinet full of prospects when they've been where they've been in the standings. You just talked about their draft. They have no picks in the first round. They picked up a second pick in the 5th round. None in the 4th round. It's not easy for these NHL teams. You can't stay at the top forever. They've done a great job of staying there for a very, very long time as Julien BriseBois and Jon Cooper. But at some point, you start to age out.
Every team has different DNA. Is free agency really the path to go for BriseBois?
I think it's going to be until they can start to accumulate draft picks. They're going to have to juggle the free agent market and continue to supplement what they have through that, because they're not going to be able to supplement it through young players.
We'll see what happens on July 1st.